Don't tell nobody.
You'll get a buzz. I swear.
True story, bro.
It tastes alright. Yeah. It's not marijuana.
That's illegal.
And this is Kentucky Hot Brown Boys.
All right. Sorry, Stevie. Sorry. I kind of yelled there a little bit. That's my fault. I apologize.
Spike the audio,
I
man.
didn't mean to do that. I know.
Maybe Stevie should do the intro.
You know what? You wanna do the intro, Stevie?
Sure.
Okay, here we'll do it like this. You ready? Here we go.
Redo.
Take 2.
And this is Kentucky Hot Brown Boys.
Good evening, everybody. Today begins another quiet day here in the heart of Independence, Kentucky.
That was actually pretty good. Keep going. Keep going.
No, it wasn't. It was not supposed to.
I was
be
trying to
good.
get you some excitement, but it didn't work. You were like, "What the fuck are you
I
doing?"
can do a Jerry impression.
Well, yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Well, hold on. We gotta do it. We gotta do it with the music here.
No, we
No.
don't.
Oh, okay.
No, it's okay.
Do you wanna introduce everybody? Or do you want me
Sure.
to introduce everybody? Well, introduce yourself first.
All right, I'm Stevie. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
We go into him.
We'll do me, and then we'll go to them because there's 2 technically.
Okay. Across from me is Jerry.
Hi guys, glad to be here. First time. Super excited to be here. This is great.
Yeah, we're gonna kick you off the show next week.
That's fine. I understand. I understand why.
And then we also have Justin, and he will point out Darren.
Wait. Hey. Little Darren.
Little Darren. How do you know it's little Darren?
It could be smart Darren.
Who you been talking to? But anyway, yes, we are back in the studio this week. We do have the guy on the couch, Darren Herald, joining us. Pretty excited about that. He was pretty excited. He got the night off, so we don't have to worry about him getting called in or whatever. Yep. So without further ado, let's get this show underway. It has been brought to my attention that there are people that watch us on Twitch, I think. And so if you are watching, down there at the bottom it says, watch us on YouTube to comment. Because I don't fucking track Twitch. I don't check the comments on there. So if you are watching on Twitch, jump over to YouTube and you can comment. Otherwise, your comments are going nowhere. So
Into the ether.
yeah, into the ether, essentially, yeah. They are not going to be answered. So watch us on YouTube. Now, last week, we were supposed to talk about this topic, and we didn't. We got a little carried away with talking about California and homeless people, and what the hell else did we talk about last week?
Yeah, California homeless people and smoking weed. Lots of weed, buddy.
I think that's about all we talked about, yeah. Yeah.
And you and Darren had a blast, right?
We did, yeah. It was super fun.
Mhm.
Super good, yeah.
Oh,
It was,
and Dank tried to serial kill you?
no, he did not.
He
try to.
locked the doors and...
If he had of, I'd have been cool with that, If it's my time, it's my time,
We get to die in L.A. Yeah.
Hey, dying in L.A. is better than living in Independence, right? Yeah,
Well,
But,
yeah, that was.
hey, Johnny Coop, what's up,
definitely-
buddy? Evening, sir. I saw your picture with that beard. It's looking fierce, man. Looking fierce. No, actually, this guy here, it just says DJK. It's my buddy Johnny Coop. When I was trapped in Cleveland, I actually hit him up. I was like, hey, man, how far away are you from Cleveland? And he was like, I'm like 3 hours from Cleveland. I'm like, damn it. Never mind. And there's the Dank Crusader. What's up, buddy? Building some cool shit for SpaceX this week.
Yo.
Yeah, there's old Darren in the background saying hey. Thank you again, Dank, for picking us up and not serial killing us. That was really nice of you. What was the name of that restaurant we ate at? Because I wanna eat there again.
Oh, yeah.
I need to Google that. It was really fucking good. wasn't
Definitely
it?
type that in the comments and screenshot that.
It was like
Send to me.
Mexican breakfast. It was so good,
Oh yeah.
unlike any Mexican or breakfast I've ever had.
You know,
Pretty good.
and it brings me back to me getting fucked when I tried to eat that lemon peel, thinking it was gonna do anything.
Oh yeah, that's right.
before-
You did eat that lemon
Yeah.
peel, didn't you?
It was horrible. Anybody else just recommends a lemon peel to you? Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
It didn't look very appealing.
And no, it
So.
it did not.
Was it supposed to be candied lemon? Or
No,
something?
it's something. It's like a thing on TikTok where like people are eating like lemon peels and it's supposed to like open
Oh.
your third eye and or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
some lady that I went to Kings Island with, she had her daughter that she usually goes to Kings Island with. She just hit me up and was like, "Have you tried the lemon peel yet?" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? The lemon peel? You talking about a restaurant?" Like, and she hit me up out of nowhere, like in L.A. I'm like, "Oh, you just
Look straight into that camera.
It's the name of a restaurant in L.A.? If so, then fuck yeah, let me get into it." And no, she was like, "Eat a lemon peel." I'm like, "Oh,
That just didn't sound good from the get go.
nah."
Yeah.
But I was in L.A., so fuck, what's the
Screw
worst
it.
can happen?
We hadn't been on the ground for what 2 hours, and you're already eating lemon peels, trying to get fucked up.
Yep.
It's sad, man. It really is.
Hey, but needless to say, that breakfast balanced everything out,
It was good. It was damn
and it
good.
was just
I
perfect.
wonder if we can Uber Eats from there.
Maybe a little steep. They might charge a little bit.
It probably would be
Extra.
steep, but it'd be pretty damn good though if we made
Yeah,
got like a couple breakfasts worth.
true.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jay Nicholas.
Like the epic meal
Jay,
time.
Jay
dude.
Nichols, what's that?
15.
Jay Nicholas.
Oh, that's the name of the place. Jay Nicholas. Okay.
Nice. Thank you, Dank.
Seeing Kook says I'm 2 hours straight up, 75 from you, Jerry. Cleveland is a drive. Yes, it is. My wife had to make that drive, and it was not fun for her. I had a blast. I got to sit on a fucking beach on Lake Erie. It was great. I didn't have any problems with the drive up. The
Dude.
drive back was a little long though.
Dude, you know
So-
what's crazy? It's
What's
funny,
that?
we were just on the topic of God, man. God.
You saying God did that to me? God put me in Cleveland.
Religion on this damn podcast. Fuck God. But I mean, not fuck God. He's probably gonna smite me with some lightning after that. But anyway, you wanted to see a
Sunset on the beach, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the
I-
pictures of that sunset. Oh my God, they beat the.
I will say those pictures of the sunset, they were better than any of the beach pictures I took in California. Yeah, it was fucking pretty, man. It was pretty.
That should have been me on that plane, man.
I mean, yeah, essentially it should have been, but you slacked
Yeah,
off
but I
and you got to go
slacked,
to
man.
Atlanta instead.
And that I got back home earlier and I had to work.
A whole day before me.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
but
But before we keep going
Yeah.
on and on and on
Rabbit
about
hole.
California, because we could talk about that forever. Justin, please explain to everyone what eminence is.
Emergence.
Or yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said, not eminence, emergence. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so imminence.
No, it's emergence,
Oh,
man.
shit. Emergence is it's pretty much everywhere, and it almost seems like a fundamental law of the universe that it kind of gets overlooked. You see it everywhere, but until it's like kind of brought to your attention.
Until somebody points it out, you don't really see it.
Yeah.
You don't notice it.
Right. So it is one of the reasons I got into beekeeping.
Really?
Because of, yeah. So if you think about, emergence itself is like the idea that simple things become complex things.
Kind of like evolution, or like the theory of evolution, if you will.
yeah.
Yeah, so imagine a simple system like, let's talk about atoms.
Okay.
Right? So you know about atoms make up everything, but atoms aren't a good description of how the body works, right? When biologists talk about how the body works, they never really talk much about atoms. And that's because atoms are on a different level of complexity.
Yeah,
So,
isn't it said that atoms, like the amount of space that is in an atom, is actually like 99.9%?
that's
Like,
true.
and there's only like 0.000 something of real matter in an atom.
Yeah, there's a lot of open space because of the nucleus and the electrons. So, when you're talking about the atom, they have electrons, and there's only like a number or a certain number of atoms that we know of. There's like 120 or so.
There's different kinds of atoms. See, I didn't even know that. I just thought an atom was an atom, but I guess there's
Right.
atoms of the elements and shit, right?
Exactly, the
Oh,
elements.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the elements have specific rules assigned to each element, and they all have properties.
Kind of like a stem cell.
Kind of like a stem cell. So, like, you
Well,
got
not really like a stem cell, but like a stem cell gets programmed to do a certain job.
right. So every cell in your body
Started
kinda
out as a stem cell.
has started out as a stem cell. So more basic would be you got your system of elements. Every element has its own properties, right?
Right.
And any material that you can think of is made of a combination of those elements based on rules of attraction between atoms. So next step up from an atom would be chemistry. So that's a complex system of stuff.
Right.
So chemistry leads to, so after you have all these chemical bonds and everything, you can think about let's move to life, where everything, all life is that we know of is
Like
made
the
of
cells.
proteins. So you have 20 different base proteins that make up every material that makes a living.
But are the proteins, do they come from chemistry?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Okay. So we're
chemistry-
following the chain here. I'm
Yeah,
getting
so
it.
chemistry has rules. From those rules, you get proteins, so amino acids that make up proteins and particular folds. The next thing you know is you have biological systems, repetition. So the DNA kind of encodes these proteins and makes it in your body. So
Right.
now we've got cells made up of proteins that replicate. And so the rules of cells, so that's a level. And then the rules of cells lead to how a full organism, like us, multicellular organism, interacts with the world. And so that's another level
Another
of emergent.
level of emergent. Yeah.
And then you can also talk about how the brain works. So you take a bunch of neurons that interact in a certain way and have different properties, and stuff like consciousness comes out of that, and it just keeps going up.
It's deep.
It's deep,
very
yeah,
deep, yeah.
Like we were just saying, what you just talking is like like you said, the consciousness and the fact that you said that.
That's like a whole level of itself.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a tip of the iceberg. If you've ever seen like the pictures of that, and it's like you got this conscious and then the subconscious, which exists in every living organism that walks, and it actually like
No, would like what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Like instinct that would lie like in the subconscious, right?
It would be a inborn behavior, so
Right.
complex behavior.
But would it be in the subconscious? Because you would like subconsciously do that.
Would
like
you subconsciously, or would you go, I really need to do that?
Well, it's like a baby bird learning how to fly. Like that's their instinct.
does it emerge
You know.
from the subconscious?
That's more of like, so you inherit a particular drive or behavior. So like, caterpillars probably don't know what it means to make a cocoon, but they just like all of a sudden have this urge
To
or
do it.
desire
It's
to
the
like wrap themselves in something.
Right.
And probably maybe they're just cold.
But would that come from their subconscious?
You know, it's funny
Or-
you
I
say
mean,
that.
I'm not sure that there's a real distinction.
You know, it's funny you say that because Osho,
Yeah, I know who
He-
you're talking about. Osho, yeah.
one of his speeches that I downloaded on Audible, he says, intuition. No, okay, so intelligence is from the brain, intuition is from the heart, and instinct is from the body. So it would make sense as to
It does make sense.
everything. Yeah, like if caterpillar doesn't it doesn't if you showed a cocoon to a caterpillar, it'd be like, what the fuck is that? And then it'd go off and make one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And not know why it needed to.
Right, right. Or like
Yeah.
a bird's nest. Like
Yeah.
that trips me out. Like how the fuck do they know how to build a goddamn nest?
Man.
Yeah.
Let alone like, oh, I feel the urge to go out and collect all this like grass
Yeah.
and put it in a little circle.
Grass and fuzz and,
And then-
twigs
And then I'm gonna shit out some eggs.
yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah, it's a funny thing that you said that too, because I actually like got pulled into like scrolling through YouTube the other day. Like I didn't click on it, but I just, you know how YouTube has that thing, like now you can just watch it without the audio, just scrolling through, you can just watch the whole damn video now. I just sat and watched a fucking bird have this birdhouse. It was big, and it just, you could see it had like a GoPro inside of it. And it was just making its own nest, and you saw it had like hyperlapse, so it was just making it, and it was so crazy to look at it do it because it was processing. You could see it processing like a human. Like it was just, all right, so I need to do this. I need to do this. All right, is it safe outside? And it was just looking like, should I go outside? It was just crazy to see it do it. Like it's just everything is the same. Like, we were all.
Can you think of an analog for humans though? What would be an analog instinct for a human? Like
To breathe.
that's part of the autonomic nervous system.
I think, didn't they say one of the first like genuine instincts for humans was babies, their like instinct to suckle or something?
That would be one.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to teach a baby to, or you don't really have to teach a baby to like suckle. You know,
It's already.
it just knows
it
to-
reaches.
Yeah.
You
And,
know?
and then you have conscious control of your mouth afterward.
Yeah.
Huh.
So what would be one towards adulthood where we would know that you're conscious? What about when you're frightened?
Like the fight or flight.
Yeah,
Type
that's not
thing?
that's not specific enough, I don't think.
That's
Like you're.
I wonder if sex is actually instinctual. Like if two
Mm.
people were plopped down in the middle of the woods, grew up there, never heard or talked to anybody else about sex, would they know how to do it?
I mean,
Yeah.
eventually.
Have you seen Mr. Nobody? They kind of like what you said right there. They kind of depict that. Like they have two kids out of nowhere, never taught anything. They don't know it, and they see their hair raising up. Like the camera does a very good job. Whoever produced the movie was a great producer. You can see the hair just rising up on their body, their pupils dilating, and just them just exploring the energy of it. Like they just felt it. Like they're just laying next to each other. All of a sudden, they got a whole everything's just, and
No, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what you're saying right now, David.
well, I'm sure you do once you were laying there and you know that you can feel just some shit just happening. You start touching on each other.
I think
and then-
sex might come naturally at some point. Might not be obvious right away, but eventually somebody's going to start touching something or getting a sensation somewhere and be like, that feels kind of good. And as long as they're communicating with the other person, they'd be like, hey, you might not have the same parts as me, but does that feel good when you do something down
So-
there? Like,
so-
oh, let's put them
Sympathetic.
together and see if it feels
So thinking
good.
about like that,
Yeah.
then the instinct would be part of your conscious desire. So you desire somebody. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the question of is it conscious or unconscious, I mean, I would say that it's kind of both, right? So it may
To a
originate
degree, yeah.
like your emotions are unconscious results, like you
Yeah.
just have emotions,
Right.
right? But you deal with them consciously. So
True.
that I think instinct would be similar, and you would probably, I'm just speculating here, you would probably justify an instinct with some kind of reason, because that's what the consciousness does. It says, oh yeah, well I punched that guy in the face because he looked at me wrong,
Right.
but really he might have scared you and you just hauled
Yeah.
off and decked him for no reason.
Right.
Right.
Or it could have been some past trauma that arose at the situation, and that was the instinct. That was the direction of the energy.
Right.
Yeah, but he said. Yeah.
So
I love the topic. It just
Going a little further, so so we went to the brain, right? That's another complex system with that something's emerged, right?
You know, the brain named itself.
That's true.
It's crazy.
Well, the brain's done some amazing shit.
That's true.
It
So
also produces
what about
DMT.
That does.
so in the case of bees, imagine that a single bee is conscious. Well, they are a community that is completely dependent upon each other, and they work to make huge decisions as one almost organism. They call it a superorganism.
Right.
So in that instance, the organisms that make up a community now become almost like another level of complexity.
Yeah.
So the simple rules of the life of a bee results in really complex behavior and things like storing honey for the winter. They also have undertaker bees. They have all this, and no one's in charge. The only thing that
The
they
queen's
have,
not in charge?
the queen is not in charge.
She's
a
she just-
slave.
I
Fair.
heard about that.
Technically,
Yeah,
you're right,
I heard,
yeah.
yeah.
Because all
So-
she does is just make babies, right?
Yeah, and if she fails, like if she stops making babies, the bees will kill her and create a new queen. So really, she's more of a slave. But ants are the same way. So ants, they're a little more simple than bees. Bees are more complex.
I would think bees are more complex because they can fly.
But ants still make really good decisions about what they're doing, and it's
Right.
collective intelligence. And so a lot of their assignments for jobs is based on a running count of each type of worker that they see.
Right.
So no, you're a worker. Hey, you're a defender. Hey, you're that. Some of them are genetically like that.
Predisposed.
Yeah.
Some of them, but a lot
Come
of them,
from a long line of, you
like,
know,
you would have like
bees that do that.
ants.
Or ants, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
so ants, you would have bigger ants they would be defenders and all.
Right.
But yeah, they do it by pheromone and marking. So
Dank says, when you have a million variables, it's impossible to predict the outcome. Whatever eventually emerges can be called emergence. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
and so this kind of leads into, so we've taken it up to superorganisms. Those are readily available and easily accessed things of complexity that we see. So there's probably things in the universe that we're a part of that
We don't even realize.
we don't even realize. Like, does the bee know it's part of a colony that makes huge decisions?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I guess
it's
I've
funny
I've
you
never talked to a bee, so I don't know.
Right. Well, I guess human-wise, we almost act like superorganisms. In a
Well,
way.
we make up a community,
Yeah,
and then communities make up like cities, and then cities make up counties, counties make up states, states make up countries, countries make up continents.
And they've got
Yeah.
a whole city in a single hive. Like they've colonized.
Would you call that a city?
I mean,
it's
what
almost
else?
a organism in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of, really.
Yeah, because a single bee
It lives
can't,
and breathes, you know.
yeah, and there's for bees, it's really interesting because there's two levels of reproduction. So you've
What?
got the first level is the queen laying eggs. So she goes out, gets mated. She goes on a mating flight once, and she's got enough eggs to lay for
Ever.
5 years.
Oh,
so-
wow.
Wow.
So, but there's another form
It
of
lives that long?
yeah. Each queen can live up to 5 years.
Oh.
So there is one more level of a colony for reproduction, and that's what they call swarming. And so for a hive to make a new hive, what happens is the queen bee will take half of the bees out of the colony, and the old colony will make a new queen, and then that'll be a standalone hive.
How
And
do
then
they make a
another.
new queen?
Jeez.
Do they just like pick an egg and go, that's going to be the queen?
Yeah,
And
similar.
then like somebody comes up and, you know, is like,
So
does some weird DNA shit, you know?
it's kind of weirder than that. The worker bees tend to make what they call queen cups, because queens are a lot bigger than worker bees, right? And so they make these queen cups, and if the queen lays an egg in a queen cup, the other bees will feed the larva that hatches what's called royal jelly, and it's this like souped up mix of honey and other proteins, and that environment of royal jelly throughout her development causes her to gain all of the characteristics of a queen.
Jeez,
And
that's
so
complex.
once she hatches, she goes the first one to hatch actually goes around and kills all the other new queens, and that's when the old queen knows, hey, it's time to get the fuck out.
Right.
And they take half of the bees. I don't know how they get just half.
They probably go, hey,
Yeah, it's
Come
time.
on.
It's time to get the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they go over and eat as much honey as they can before they go too. So they're like raiding the fridge,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we got to get all this energy.
right.
Oh man.
But yeah, that so
Like, you guys are just going to make more. We're going to take whatever we need.
right. Yeah, and so the analogy goes like, humans could be considered a superorganism, because there's a lot of
Essentially,
there's a lot of works that we couldn't do as a single person, like the internet, for instance,
Right.
And that,
or
go ahead.
the power grid is another one.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So the glue that holds us together is communication
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
in culture.
I can believe that strongly because if you think of it, at the end of the day, our communication, our word into the universe is law. Like whatever we say, if it's true and honest, it's what happens and what's been happening up to this point. And I was about to ask you if that fell in line with the simulation theory, because recently they've been doing a ton of research on rats, and I didn't get too far into it, but there was a podcast that was talking about DMT, like the effects on like humans and what they've been able to uncover through experiments. Like they've been doing experiments with mushrooms, LSD, all these different types of.
Yeah, they're saying like mushrooms can like cure depression and shit now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was reading that too.
And that's why it's been becoming more and more apt to legalization, because
It's actually
They're-
beneficial.
they're realizing the medicinal effects.
Could you imagine if the United States was just like, look, mushrooms are legal?
Well,
And think about all the depressed people out there that
Well,
could
see,
be reprogrammed, so to speak,
I do have
from
a
mushrooms.
I do have a strong view of this about illicit drugs.
They're awesome.
So I was just thinking about this, like medication wise, like they're always like,
Right.
oh yeah, let's give you some fucking antidepressants,
some pill?
make you
Yeah.
okay, right? But at the end of the day, most people, the vast majority of people, are self-medicating with either illicit drugs or alcohol.
Right.
So, and when does this happen? Right after work. Why the hell don't they actually like prescribe a fucking relax pill or something like that? That's like a lost opportunity. Your alcoholism, the first go-to is alcoholism because you can go down the street and
yeah, you
grab
can
some
buy
shit.
it. It's readily available.
Yeah.
And people don't drink because it's a good buzz. Because fuck,
They
is
drink because they're depressed and sad,
And that's
wanna
what
not
they
feel
have
that.
available.
Right.
Like, if there was a better one that was non-habit forming, I mean, like marijuana's pretty good, but it's not for everyone.
Right. Yeah, some
Yeah,
people
yeah,
don't.
some
it's
people
not,
get-
not their bag,
It's funny. Yeah, I have a story, a funny story. I'm gonna keep it short and brief because I don't need anybody, because this is the internet. But I'll say a guy that that used to smoke and came to the function with a lot of knowledge on it. He was talking, he was talking a bunch of knowledge on it, how about the good effects about it, and all these medicinal properties and everything. And he was talking good. I mean, he was just giving a lot of facts, of course. And I bring some stuff to the function, and it's in a rotation. He decides to take a hit. He immediately recognizes that it's not some light.
Some run of the mill dirt
Yeah,
weed.
like-
Yeah.
So he sits back. He kind of straightens his spine and everything, and he lets it out. He starts coughing and all this, and I'm
Coughing
like,
makes you higher.
yeah. And that's funny because we talked about it too. But it was just one hit. It was just one hit. That's it. And he was out. It was just, that was all it took. That was all she wrote. And
Was it the good?
no, it was actually not the good. It was the stuff that was
Daniel LaRusso?
Yeah.
Daniel
Well,
LaRusso every time, man.
It was the stuff that I said that, I can get back at home. And
Okay.
and it's funny because the fact that the compounds that we create in our brain, whenever any type of what people call drug, marijuana, it's a plant with properties that we already create in our body, in our brain. Like it has a massive, it's like nutrient dense food. Like it's got a lot of said nutrient in just a small serving. It can be the same thing with this percentage of THC. You can have THC from 14 or even lower to all the way up to like 30 to 40% in some cases, some crazy cases. THC, and that's the effects. That's the weed, like that's the compound of THC that is being exposed to the receptors in our brain. That at the end of the day, if you got a stronger strain, it's going to be exposing a lot more of that compound to your brain, and that's what's causing the high. And
Essentially, yeah, that's how that works, man. Yeah.
yeah, and kind of brings me back to the DMT thing too. Like with DMT, with it being naturally produced in our brain, they did that study that with rats. They actually also had human studies too. They did a couple of human studies, and like I said, I didn't get too far into it, but they were talking about DMT is naturally produced in our day, in our waking day. That's why I was wondering if it was tied into the simulation theory, because with emergence, it kind of brings back the idea that DMT, when DMT is being produced, it's altered by any of the compounds in like psilocybin, LSD. Whenever it's ingested, it's
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's emergence because organisms are pretty complex, so you're just throwing in a new variable to the system.
You know, I used to have a sound that was Alex Jones saying, "They're taking the DMT," but I can't fucking find it on here now. And I'm so super sad about that.
that would have been perfect.
I know.
But they did uncover, like they said, it like DMT, with it being produced naturally in the brain, and they were observing it through the rats, like their waking life. They see that it was changed. Like they see the sight, like they were looking at the sight portion of the brain, and it was altered. And
See, I don't really feel like being produced in the body is significant, because most drugs that interact with us are similar to other things that are produced in the brain, like
yeah,
opioids. They attach to natural endorphin receptors. Anything that's going to interact with your brain most likely is similar to another compound that your body makes, and it's gonna exceed the normal limit, so it's gonna cause different reactions in your body.
yep.
So THC similar to, I don't know, usually those like psilocybin works on serotonin. I think it
Yeah.
mimics serotonin.
Yep.
That is correct.
And then a lot of the mescaline, same thing. I'm not sure about LSD. I'm sure it's the same mechanism, but yeah, I've heard some crazy woo-woo stories about DMT. So
Yeah, it's always a gray area whenever it's talked about, because there's people that
I've
are
never
out
tried
there.
it.
You say you've never tried it? Oh my God.
I've never fucked with the DMT either.
it's like
There's-
a 10-minute high, right?
There's people
From what I understand, it doesn't last very long, yeah, but it's very intense.
there's people out there that have scientists that have them in a room with a microscope. They're looking at them, and they're just feeding them DMT, psilocybin, and all this stuff just to watch what they do.
Sign me up. Do they get paid?
They do. I mean,
Wow.
anywhere from like $1,300 to like $2,000. So here, let me go ahead and pump some LSD into your system and see what happens.
I mean, as long as it's like
That's-
regulated and closely watched,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
why not?
I just call that an experiment.
Well, think about how it would be on your side of things. You at that point, like the money wouldn't even be it wouldn't even be a factor. Like you'd be tripping balls looking at these people in lab coats, like looking at you, observing and taking,
studying you.
Yeah, like you're like, okay,
You'd be studying the people studying you, man.
Actually, I was listening to a description of what they do about the psilocybin stuff, and they actually make it as comfortable as possible. They give you shades,
oh man,
and they have like a liaison, a person that's like calming,
Like a babysitter.
like a babysitter, and they give you shades, and they put headphones on you, let you listen to music,
some like ambient.
and then they give you a shit ton of psilocybin, so like way more than what you would do recreationally.
Right.
And then that's the one that helps with depression and all that. But yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, you got a little babysitter that's going to be like,
Yes.
hey, everything's good.
Yeah.
I'm here. Put your headphones back on. Stop banging your head against the wall.
Listen
But see, anybody
to
who's
your
ever
Jefferson airplane and
Yeah.
just relax, man.
Yeah,
you know?
anybody who's ever been under the influence of a strong psychedelic, though, if they're being observed like that and someone's telling them and they're like kind of restraining them, put their headphones back on, they're just gonna lose their mind even more because like they're starting. Because with the DMT thing, back to like the rabbit hole that I keep trying to. I'm sorry, but
Yeah. When you started this, you said it was going to be short and sweet.
yeah, I'm sorry, but no, they said they showed
Bullshit!
that like what was produced in like a rat or anybody that was under the influence of a psychedelic compound, like their sight and everything that they were taking in was was altered in the sense of their sensory perception of it. Like it was.
Yeah. They meld together, right?
Mm-hmm. Like it's almost like they're exposed
synesthesia, I
to a
think.
different. Yeah. Like
It's called synesthesia, where you like the color brown has, or like a sound has a color. Like you hear
yeah.
hear
like a
colors and
beat. Yeah,
shit,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, because apparently the communication between regions in the brain is like hyperactive at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want
All
the
right.
proof?
But yeah.
All right.
Anybody who
So-
wants to like get credit, like get the actual credibility from like anything that I've talked about, Aubrey Marcus is the guy that you guys probably heard of the name, but he actually has the information, the episode
The
on
facts,
YouTube, the
the
facts
proof.
that I saw. And I was like, okay, I
Aubrey-
watched like 17 minutes. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. I need to get some sleep.
You
That
said
was-
Aubrey Martin?
Aubrey Marcus.
Marcus.
Yep. They have like two people that were doing or like two guys with PhDs or whatever, and they're just giving their experience with the work that they've done.
That was good.
Okay. Let's move along there, Justin.
Oh,
I forget where you
Emergent?
were at, man. Yeah.
Well, I had explained like how bees,
Right,
single bee, blah blah blah. So, that chemistry leads to proteins. Proteins lead to life. Life leads to communities. So those are all levels of emergence that we see every day in our life, right?
Right.
So, the thought of that, the real essence of what emergence is you have a simple set of rules, and from a simple set of rules and an initial condition, you get a complex system or behavior from it. So, the one thing I introduced to you last one,
Yeah.
the game of life, Conway's game of
Was
life.
that last week or was that the week before?
It was last week I introduced it to you before the show. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right because we were talking.
Right. And I'm
A
not sure
couple
if you
days
can
later.
show that site.
Because
I think it's badass. It like blows my mind, just the thought of simple rules.
How can I do this here?
he's gonna try to get it. But yeah, it's John Conway was a famous mathematician. Unfortunately, died of COVID last year. But he came up with the game
That's
of
not
life.
what I wanted. It's not the window capture that I needed. Hold on. Let's see.
And I think it's a good example of emergence. They never really stated, but it's a simulation. So going back, simulations.
Mm.
Why is it not letting
It would
me-
make sense though with
Oh,
the
you know what?
simulation
Hold on.
theory
We can go.
that they've brought to the table so
Bam,
far.
There we go. Okay.
With everything happening. I mean, it's almost like what they said on the podcast. It's not like we've got like a civilization, an ancient civilization that has formed life and are just observing us through a microscope
is.
right now. But it's more of, like they said on the podcast, like God observing its self through
Now,
perspective of
Explain what's going on here, Justin.
All right, so each one of the
Oh.
little squares. So
Might actually.
yeah, there's the explanation. This
The
is a cool.
rules, yeah.
Yeah, so there's only like four rules,
Mm-hmm.
and each cell you can think of as like either alive or dead. And the rules are based on its neighbors and whether it lives or dies in each step. In each step, the whole board is evaluated. And so you get things like, you can read that. I can't really see it very well.
For a space that's populated, each cell with one or no neighbors dies as if by solitude. As you can see here, it becomes dead. Each cell with 4 or more neighbors dies as if by overpopulation. As you can see, that cell, for instance, is going to die because it's got 4 or more neighbors. Each cell with 2 or 3 neighbors survives. So as you can see by that little infographic there, I don't know if you guys can see my mouse moving. I'm assuming you can. And then for each space that is empty or unpopulated, each cell with 3 neighbors becomes populated. So this little guy right here, it's a dead cell, but it's got 3 direct neighbors, and it becomes alive.
And those are all the rules of this universe.
Yeah.
And why John Conway was interested in this was because given initial conditions, like he's going to select squares, given these initial conditions, once you click go, there's no way to predict what's going to happen at the end.
I'm just going to click some random squares here, and we're just going to see what happens. Based off those rules, this is what's going to happen.
And you can see you get some weird evolution. And
Each step is crazy.
yeah, and people have made some crazy shit from this.
Yes, they have.
Like full computers in this simulation. Like there was a guy who made a clock. An actual clock.
Like a digital clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like it shows what it looks like on this, or
So so he gave it some initial conditions.
Yeah.
And each little step is
Every time it
those rules.
changes, that's a step. It applies.
so like what kind of like what's going on right now with the one up in the top left-hand corner. It's got
Yeah. It just every step it applies the rules to every square on the board.
Oh.
And it goes on infinitely.
until you reach a steady state or it will never stop.
Yeah.
And there's no way to predict whether it is.
Yeah.
And these things almost look like little organisms. And
Yeah.
the idea that from these simple rules you can get things like a clock. I don't know if you can pull that up. The clock video.
I could probably pull up a video, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
That's cool though. It like you said, it brings a good representation of like what we really are doing on the planet Earth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's-
almost like a property of the universe, like
Mm-hmm.
like every building block. So, yeah, this is that video. This is a really good one.
Yeah.
This is a clock this guy built, or guy or girl, I'm not sure.
A person.
Oh wow.
And just wait. You ain't seen nothing yet, man.
Yeah, it's zooming out.
Yeah. Once it gets going, it's pretty cool.
So it's not going right now?
I mean, it's working, but it's working to that point.
Right.
You'll see it. You'll
And
be like,
they'll speed it up. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see it starting to.
you'd be like, wow, yeah, see,
Oh,
See?
shit.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was just off of a few clicks like you just showed us.
yeah, just by picking the right squares initially to get you started.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it
and all-
fucking tells time, man.
Yeah, like see, like it's moving, like it's actually. None of these are static. Like they're all changing, but they're changing in a way that
This shit
like that's
blows
just what
my
it needs to
mind.
be. Yeah,
Like
Oh my
all from those
God.
4 simple rules and initial conditions, someone has put together a full working clock.
yeah.
And there's
It's
like
even got the PM over on the left-hand
Well,
corner. Look
they
at
probably just put that up there. That looks like it's static. Same with the dots, the colon or whatever.
well, no, it's a part of the process.
I don't think so, 'cause it's not moving.
Look
like the
at it.
rest of
Well, it's part of the condition. Look at it.
Well, it's,
we can't
it's
move
gonna
it.
zoom
Yeah,
out.
I was thinking we could.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. It looks like
But
we
it-
could play with it,
But
right?
yeah, see, like that's
It looks like it's all.
not that right. The PM and the dots, yeah, that's not doing nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Either way, that's still mind blowing. My mind's just still trying to collect itself right now.
it's crazy.
Right. So that would be a simulation that we could see, like how you can have simple rules and some really complex behavior or mechanism as it. And it seems like we've got these levels everywhere, and there could be upper levels above us that we don't even know about. Like what is our
Dimensions.
what is our universe? Is it part of one of these like simple ruled systems that makes a whole another bigger level? We don't know.
Well,
Would it-
with the simulation theory, with them saying everything is simulated, I mean, it's fun to entertain the thought of it really is like this. is what
Everything's
it's-
in the matrix.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
I mean-
only
Yeah.
experiencing a tiny portion, like with the light spectrum. If anybody's ever seen the picture of like what the light spectrum actually is, like we have a very tiny little slither of what we can actually see, like visible light, and then there's this whole bar of everything else that we can't see.
Like infrared light. And shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So that would lead me to believe that it could possibly be a simulation, our universe, because
How
you know,
would
given
how would we know?
how would we know? And
We would just
That's a
be
good
we'd
question.
be just like the bees. We don't know why, but we just do.
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So simple rules that you can program simple rules,
Right.
and from this simulation you can see that you can program simple rules that will result in unpredictable, whatever results.
See, I'd like to figure out how they made the fucking clock, because
They-
that shit just didn't happen by chance.
Well,
they had to.
Yeah. Sit up
had
for
to have-
hours.
Yeah, they had to have like predicted.
Well,
what
they've
was gonna
got
happen.
classifications of shapes that they've studied, and like one of them is a glider. Like a glider.
Yeah, that was
is-
the first thing
Yep.
that I had showed
Right.
you.
Like
yeah.
the dial,
Yeah.
like the dial when they had that little on the, and they just paid attention to the way the sun just casted the shadow around it. Like
a sundial.
yeah, like
Yeah, I have no idea how that correlates into the glider
Time?
thing. Yeah.
So
I mean-
then you got the
Yeah.
then you got the glider generator, which that was another starting figure. So they combined like a glider generator, a glider, and then the gliders would decimate each other. And there's all these different shapes that people have like posted classifications for,
Right.
and you use all those as tools. And they're almost like little organisms.
Kind of. Yeah.
And they make a fucking clock or a computer. There was another one that I saw where it was a full blown fucking computer.
Yeah.
I was like, this is mind blowing. Like,
It is kind of cool. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick here.
yeah.
So what do you think our function would be? Like
What do you mean?
Like how the bees, they make honey and that's their function, or like that simulation, the clock was the function and stuff. What would our function be?
Well, in order to have function, you would, in that sense, you're saying like usability.
Mhm.
Like, I would say that the bees don't do it because they were designed to.
Here's
Right.
here's
think
the
they do it.
Keeping the economy
It just
afloat.
happens to be that way.
This is the working computer here.
Imagine if instead of a human doing this, all the initial conditions were randomly generated. Eventually, you would end up with a clock or a computer.
Oh wow.
Well, that's what we have in our
So
universe.
instead of a simulation theory being like designed by something or someone, it would just be random.
Well, the rules could be designed by someone,
Mhm.
but the results may be random, like genetics or evolution.
Wait till it zooms out again. That's when it really gets cool.
Yeah, so
Right.
those are the little generators, and they got little gliders that act as like circuits
Yeah.
or electric lines.
I'm pretty sure the letters they make in the program too. Because remember when we did it, the blocks still could stay stationary at some points. So I don't think they added those in.
You can
It's just like a
you can make
sequence of.
you can make static shapes by
Yeah.
Just by following the rules.
right.
Yeah.
But that shit's crazy. That's a full fucking computer. I don't.
Technically, yeah.
He's got a memory. He's got all that shit.
How am I doing here? There we go.
That's
Alright.
trippy. That is super trippy.
I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
It's trippy
Yeah.
on its own, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Didn't I tell you about this game?
You did,
Yeah,
but
I
I
did
didn't
tell you
think
that,
it.
yeah.
I didn't know it went that deep. I thought it was just
Oh,
something
yeah.
that you just tap a couple boxes on the phone and just things happen. Like,
Yeah,
I
you
didn't-
almost
Yeah.
need the primer to like kind of understand what
man, yeah,
the significance of that is.
Yeah.
Until this happened, like I thought it was just a random
Just a game that
like
I showed
like
you?
a Tetris, lose your mind in it type of game.
Yeah.
But
I've spent like hours just sitting, clicking squares, like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna make a shape. Okay, let's see what this shape turns into. And then, 10 minutes later, you're like, is it ever gonna fucking stop?
well, that kind of
know?
ties in with what we do as humans. Think about it. Like when we set out to like do things and when we make goals, we have to do certain things that get us past that. Like we have to get it to a point where,
We have to grow,
yeah,
essentially.
and what
Grow
do
and
we have-
change and-
sometimes it's repetition. We need to do that to get to that level. Like, and it makes sense.
And then you gotta
'cause
think
we've got a
as
lot of-
us as humans, we might be at a static point, but then we interact with another human who brings in,
Yeah.
what they're doing, and it kind of changes us and
Right.
builds from that.
programs.
And there's a signal feedback loop.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I meet you. We have a conversation. You spread an idea. It modifies my behavior. I talk to
Butterfly.
someone else.
Yeah.
Modify their. How does it propagate through our society? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it does. All these words that we use propagates through society and makes change, and so we've got an emergent system, which is our culture and society.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so it just keeps leveling up, and fucking turtles all the way down.
Turtles all the way
Yeah,
down.
that was an old saying from Richard Feynman.
Caramel turtles all the way down, dude. Hell yeah. Speaking of which, I'm all the way down on the caramel turtle.
You
Jesus
take a refill
Christ.
there. You take a refill.
Yeah, like if I do take a refill, I'm gonna be fucked. So
So
Let's see.
Bruce Lipton's Biology of Belief.
Yeah. Says it's right up your alley.
Is that similar to meme theory presented by Richard Dawkins?
You say meme theory?
Meme theory, yeah. So you know memes, right?
Yeah.
Well, Richard Dawkins, he wrote like The Selfish Gene. In the end, like as a footnote, he was like, "Oh, I wrote about these genes and how they propagate and everything. Well, if you think about ideas and information, they almost propagate in the same way. And instead of genes, he said memes, and that's where that originated from.
Ah.
Yeah, so memes propagate themselves through humans as their medium. So our brains propagate snippets of information, and the analogy goes a little further. So if you think about like religion, right? Religion has defense mechanisms. So blind faith is one defense mechanism to ward off other belief systems. It also spreads itself as part of the doctrine,
Like a disease.
like a disease or an organism. Organisms are diseases are organisms most generally.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah. So like even a tumor could be considered its own organism. But yeah, so he applied the model, and I think there's no like real predictive power in that theory, but it's interesting, and it did catch on, because you got memes
Yeah.
on the internet now. But yeah, it's pretty. I mean, if they could actually apply it in some meaningful way, that would be great, because it is a pretty powerful idea.
A meaningful meme? You mean like a
Yeah.
like a motivational poster?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what.
Or
a
like
meme
a
is.
scientific idea or something,
Oh,
or
okay,
some law of information.
Right.
But like the hardest part of that is like, how do you isolate what like a single thought is? Like, what is the minimum amount of information that makes up a thought, and then how does that relate to propagating itself? Like we got genes, right? They broke it down to constituent parts, the different A, C, G, T amino acids or whatever.
Yeah, like GABA, and there's other like I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like you can't really do that with thoughts. So
there's so much. Yeah, because I think they tried to. I want to say I'm on the same plane, because they tried to, and the amount of data that it would take to represent a thought didn't even exist. Like our terabytes are like we didn't have a number for.
What's after a terabyte?
petabyte.
Petabyte?
Yeah, it's 1,024 terabytes.
Damn.
So, and I'm not sure what's after a petabyte.
What's a
The
teraflop?
cops.
That was good. That was good.
With the cops. Yeah.
Yep.
That was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard of like teraflop. Like what is that? That's
I have no
gotta
idea.
be fucking huge, right?
Teraflop. I don't even know what a flop is, let alone the prefix tera.
I have
Takes
no
us
idea.
back to like wondering what the fuck a floppy disk was for. What got
They're not good for anything anymore.
500 megabytes of,
Dude.
if even that.
Did I lose them all?
Lose all what?
All our watchers.
Oh, we got two. So probably just us and Dank.
That was probably me. Like they're like, what the fuck do they got this dude talking for? Like,
It probably was your rant.
yeah,
That was supposed to be short and sweet.
yeah.
No,
okay.
no.
But that's the liquor in me.
Piece of trash.
I get all excited about nerdy shit.
Well, that's good.
I do
though.
too. You see
Yeah.
me over
Yeah,
here
yeah, yeah.
bouncing back and like, dude. There's so much shit that I want to talk about when that happens though, because there's so much shit that I've been fed through my fucking phone. Like,
You are pretty excited over there, Darren.
man.
So hard.
But yeah, that whole emergence topic really gets me fired up. It's really accessible.
It's crazy to think about, man.
Yeah.
It really is, because a lot of people think that the world is a simulation. Doesn't Elon Musk even have theories and
Yeah.
his own, thoughts about that? Doesn't he think we're in a simulation?
Yeah, I
Like
couldn't.
said, it's time back to the DMT shit.
Yeah.
I couldn't refute it. I mean, I've heard.
You
and
might
I-
not
and
be-
I kind of agree with it. Like, there's more. It's more likely we are a simulation.
Yeah.
It's what they found out.
But a
through those-
simulation by who, though? That's the question.
That's what they found out through those experiments. That it's in our brain with the amount of DMT that's produced. Whenever we have a compound like psilocybin or LSD that's ingested into our body, it's altered. So whenever whatever you feel when you're on the compound, it's different. Like the simulation.
Are you
or
thinking
whatever
about
they're
the
saying.
robots or the aliens that people see, like the leprechauns sometimes?
I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, like,
Yeah,
they-
like-
I like how people have had similar experiences, seeing
Yeah.
different things.
across
yeah.
the board.
Yeah.
there's different. Yeah, like beings talking to them. Like I've heard of that. Like there was a story of someone that was on, or they blasted through. Is that what they call it on DMT? You blast off or something, or break through.
Break on through to the other side.
That's right.
There's like other beings there to greet you on that plane of existence, and they speak to you. And it's not just like how we speak to each other, like language. They're like they're transmitting, like they're
Yeah,
just
like we can't communicate
Communicating.
normally. Yeah.
they're just psychologically just transmitting their experience and what they want to say with us, and it's beyond language.
I think
It's
I would
just-
have to
yeah.
do DMT to believe it.
Let's get some. We'll do it on the show next week. You know.
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
Well,
Yeah.
bees, when one of them comes back drunk, don't they kill her so that she doesn't make everyone go do it?
Oh man,
No, well,
Bees come back
'cause they-
drunk.
Like if they get into something and they come back,
they
like
got like a mushroom
intoxicated,
or
yeah,
something.
they'll like
Ah.
kill them or something, right?
yeah, they
Wow.
assume that they're diseased.
Yeah.
Oh,
So watch out,
wow.
Darren.
Oh shit.
Oh, if you come,
Well,
yeah,
you know,
if you
it's
come
funny
back
you
drunk.
say that because I've
Yeah.
already like had that foresight, so I've been like, you know, fuck it. If it happens, it happens. Let it be. Like I'm just.
That's what I said about Dank. You know, getting in his truck. If it fucking happens, it happens.
It
you know,
happens.
It's whatever.
It is what it is. Like
You
it's,
know?
it's the universe we live in. If it fucking happens, it's gonna be on the news, and then if there is that other alternate dimension that I can like observe and everything that happens after that fact, that'd be awesome. Be like, whoa, this is really like whoa.
yeah, I have to agree with Dank on the placebo effect
It says
That shit's
placebo
weird.
effect proves your mind can control certain aspects of your
of your body.
Yeah, the placebo effect is real.
Yeah, it's
It
fucking
is real.
real.
Yeah,
And I think we should take advantage of it more.
the placebo. Well, they say if you've ever done cocaine and you think about doing cocaine, like it sets off something in your brain and you actually start to like
Feel it?
feel the effects.
Fuck.
Sort of. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's something that they have. It's something similar where like you imagine eating stuff, and then
Yeah.
if you imagine it hard enough, you just stop being hungry.
Oh man.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
Yeah, there's. I
That would
forget who I
help
saw it.
a hell of a lot with my diet.
Yeah.
So just
True
think
that.
of like a Big Mac. Not think
Over
about
And
like
just get lost in the thought of it. Just
not thinking about like I want a Big Mac, but more of like I'm eating a Big
Yeah.
Mac at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
ooh.
So I've heard Tony Robbins did a thing where he was telling people how to
That
eat
guy's kind of
less.
creepy looking.
He is.
I just wanted to throw that in
He's
there.
super big.
Yeah.
Like he's just
I want to see him like wrestle Shaq, just to see what would happen. I don't know. But go ahead,
They're,
Steve.
like,
I'm sorry.
same
But yeah, one
size.
of the things he had people do is like you take your cravings up to like a 10. You're like, oh, imagine how good that Coke's gonna taste because it's nice and cold and crisp, and you're so thirsty. And then you take it down to like a 0 by imagining there's like maggots and stuff in it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I just think it's really interesting. And I would prefer imagining that I'm eating something rather than imagining I'm about to eat something with maggots. So-
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't
And then
sound
it
good.
just like the
Yeah.
placebo effect, just your brain is already there, and it's like kind of falling in line with the simulation theory. It's got the compounds in your brain that have been active for that. Like your mouth starts to what's it called? Salivate or
Yeah. Salivate.
salivate, yeah. And that's
Well-
your brain just getting itself ready. Like your body
But
is just getting itself ready for it all.
U-
right?
Usually the purpose of a simulation is to like model the real world. So I would imagine that
So
our
if
simulation would
yeah.
be very similar to the creator's world
Mm.
as a tool, right? So
Right.
you wouldn't create a simulation.
But who is the creator of our simulation?
That's a good
though?
question. right?
Yeah. If we are in fact living in a simulation,
If we
Right.
are, yeah.
what I'm more mind blown by, just based off playing that game, I'm surprised it's lasted this long. It hasn't died out.
Well,
What's that? The
Our simulation,
oh
like
yeah.
based on the game of life that we were showing earlier,
well, you gotta
Yeah, 'cause
think.
sometimes it
what
just
if we're in that?
keeps going. Sometimes it dies out.
What if we're in
you
that
know.
in that continuous loop? What if it's just
Yeah, we could be stuck in a loop technically.
Maybe if we hit like some milestone in our development, the simulation will stop. Like,
Maybe.
or what else you could do if you wanted to learn new technology is you create a simulation and let it run till it's finished and see what they invented. Like we do that with AI, right?
Yeah.
yeah, because they
Teaching AI to walk,
Yep.
Yeah.
shit like that. Like
And shit where like they have people or people will take a bot, like an AI bot, bless you,
Thank you.
and like make it watch, a Batman movie or some shit, and then it has the bot create its own Batman movie.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
shapes. They optimum shapes, so they'll run a simulation of and put physics in there, and they'll say, okay, well, you've got all these strains and loads that you gotta account for. Don't crash, and then it makes a bunch of simulations of that scenario and comes up with the best shape to fit it.
Jeez.
So then they can 3D print those shapes and use them.
See,
So
they've programmed
crazy.
those just computers. They were essentially computers when they were produced, and then they started to just program more and more. And they've got even Sophia. Like, you've seen Sophia, right? Like,
Yeah. She's an actual
a
citizen.
now.
Yeah.
And what, Germany? Or
I don't know if it's Germany. I forget where it's at.
yeah, she's got rights, like a human right.
Yeah, she's got like citizens' rights. Yeah.
you know the creator of that is trans.
Cool.
Yeah.
Of Sophia.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, you're talking the realistic AI robot, right?
Yeah.
That communicates- yeah.
Yeah.
Even had him like
Yeah.
on, or had her on.
I
a
think Tim
date.
Robbins even did an interview with Sophia. I
Who's
believe.
Tim Robbins?
Isn't that who you were?
Tony
Oh,
Robbins.
Tony
Yeah.
Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm thinking Tim
Yeah.
Robbins from Shawshank.
Well, who has she not talked to now? Like, I bet every celebrity has talked to her at least, but haven't produced a video with it. But even Will Smith, they had a video with him, like on a nice beach.
Was he talking to
setting.
Sophia?
Yeah, it was a
Oh,
beach
that's cool.
setting. It was like a date. Like, he was trying to like make a joke.
He
about
was
it,
in
like-
that movie AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they tried to make a joke out of. They
Yeah.
tried to tie that in, and she consciously like made a joke back with him. Like, she clapped back. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's
she's quick, man. Yeah.
she's like, yeah. Any viewers that are watching and hearing this right now, you just have to watch it.
Like Dank. That's like the only viewer right now.
You just have to watch the video if you haven't already, just to see what it is. Sophia and Will Smith, you'll see it pop up the first video, but it's just like how she has her own personality.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
got her own,
But still, like, I'm not entirely impressed.
Really?
No.
You think they could do better?
No, think about kids.
Yeah.
What about?
So Sophie,
Oh, yeah.
Sophia's been around for how many years?
Quite a few now. No,
Yeah, and more than most kids.
right.
And she can't even brush her own
can't-
teeth.
Ooh.
She can't brush her own teeth.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But like,
you're
think
right,
about
though.
it. Like,
They
how
haven't-
much training has she been through, and she can't make novel jokes, or she may make novel jokes, but are they,
Yeah.
her jokes or
It
are they
just kinda-
somebody else's
It just
jokes?
kind of depends on what she's exposed to, too.
Yeah,
You got to
Well,
think about that.
lots and lots of, what was that, Cleverbot that used to
yeah.
mess with? Yeah, Cleverbot I think might have beat the Turing test because it just takes out random conversations and gives responses.
I got it stuck in a loop one time.
Did you?
Yeah, you were there.
But
And you were like, that doesn't pass the Turing test. And I was like, what? Just click and refresh on the...
yeah, but yeah, like it's not very. I'm not. I mean, I'm impressed with the work that they did. I mean, it's groundbreaking. But as far as AI, I'm not scared.
You're not scared of AI? What about like Terminator type shit, man?
No.
If you had like a defense software that became self-aware and realized that humans were ultimately the biggest threat to the world,
Oh fuck.
which is true.
Well,
I mean,
'cause-
we technically we are the biggest threat. I mean, we're creating, global warming and all that stuff based off things that we have created to make our life easier.
I don't see it as threat because as a software developer, they can't prevent me from writing bad code now, and I'm a human.
Right.
See,
So
'cause
if
at
they-
the end of the day, it's your decision. Like,
Yeah, so I'm writing the code, right? And
Right.
I'm actually, and I can write bad code. If
But the bad code just won't work, right? It'll fail.
No, it can still work. Bad code can still work.
you
Right.
could just
Buggy,
wreak
shit
havoc.
like that. I don't know. Like, it just seems like, I mean, we're not to a point where AI will.
But you could technically
It's
write.
not even on the horizon.
You
for
could
me.
write a
Well-
bad code that could turn into something. Could it?
No.
change into something as a result,
No.
or a result of the bad code?
No.
No.
He
No,
can't
it's very
like
specific.
he can't like mistype a letter and then all of a sudden it's a robot. It's just gonna make the machine act weird.
Right.
Right.
No, I mean, it's very. They're not general purpose intelligence. Like they're very specific. Like if you're gonna make like an image processing unit that does like recognition,
Right.
right? So what you do is you say, okay, this is an image processing unit, and I'm gonna feed it a shit ton of data that humans have labeled. So you don't need to do that for a child, right? A child, you show an image of a door, and
Yeah.
a child can, after that moment, can
Knows.
probably figure out what other doors look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, not so much with the AI. You got to show it like, hundreds to millions
But now-
of
now-
images
I'm
of
with
doors.
you on that.
To go
I'm with
back
you
to
on
like the
that.
Terminator shit, like based on, the Terminator rules, like it's a learning computer. Like it can actually, like learn.
But we
So-
haven't figured that part out yet.
We really.
Well, what
haven't,
about
but I'm with
Watson?
you on the fact that it takes them.
Like
Because
have
you have
you
to
watched?
program.
Have you watched the Watson on Jeopardy?
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
that same thing.
Yeah. I mean,
So they have like a shit ton of data. Language
pack it
processing
in.
was really impressive. I don't know if they passed text to it, or I think Watson even had to process the language too. But
probably. Yeah.
I mean,
It's like
they
stuff
had all of human knowledge shoved into like this computer
Right.
that it could call upon, whereas like a human has to infer and have imprecise memories and still come up with the right answer.
Right.
So that's pretty fucking impressive. I mean, there's some like heuristics that I don't even know we could actually program in.
I'm sure if we really wanted the destruction of the humanity, like if we really wanted to, like
We're
there would
doing that
be
ourselves anyway. So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
there would be someone out there that would, just if they wanted to, if they had the wherewithal, they would program everything that they could, because they've already had Sophia, or I don't know if it was Sophia or any of the other robots that they had talking. They had them talking in their own language at one point. Like, if you guys ever seen that video, they had like two robots. One was a male, I think it was Sophia. But they started talking in their own language. Like it was language that they weren't even programmed to talk. Like it was just stuff that, and there were people trying to decode what it was that they said.
Wouldn't
They
Sophia
couldn't, like-
technically be like a learning computer? Because I mean, like she learns. She interacts with people and she learns, and she can, base her responses off that.
So she's not general purpose though. Like, what is her purpose? To converse. So she does.
Yeah.
They train her really well to talk.
Right.
But like, I talk
Right.
and I code, and I, play Sudoku.
Right.
All the shit that a human can do. I mean, over time, like we're not even like scratching the surface. Like a fruit fly
Right.
is smarter than our computers right now. I don't know what Google's doing off in their labs and shit. They may
Yeah.
have like the solution, but as far as like a general purpose AI that you could run at home, nah.
No, Alexa's kind of like that.
Nah.
Now
Not,
that
not
you said
really,
that,
though.
Alexa is like on our case right now. She's like, okay.
Yeah, she's on to us now.
Yeah, Alan Turing was a homosexual, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a really sad story, a really fucking sad story. He was a goddamn war hero that broke the German encryption.
The encryption, yeah. The
Yeah,
code.
broke it by building a fucking computer. So he not only did he like prove that you could have a computer, but he also used that computer to break the German encryption, which saved us in the war.
Wow.
That is-
And so after he got done, he couldn't talk about what he did, right? And he was a homosexual, and he got caught. I don't know if it was like a sperm lover or something, but he got caught.
Hold on. Did you just say a sperm lover? What?
Yeah, sperm lover. Yeah, he definitely was that. But
No, hold on. What did you say there?
spurned lover.
Oh, a spurned lover. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, sperm lover. Yeah,
I was like, yeah, okay, yeah.
but yeah, he ended up getting caught, and they chemically castrated him.
Wow.
because it was against the law back then. And then
It's not like he's going to reproduce anyways. What difference does it make?
right, well,
know, why
sodomy
castrate
was
him?
illegal, and then and then he was so depressed after that he ended up committing suicide by eating a poisoned apple. I think it was like some kind of throwback to a
No, fairy tale.
fairy tale.
Yeah. What was it? Sleeping Beauty or
Something like that,
Yeah.
probably. But yeah, and then it wasn't too long ago that they talked about pardoning him posthumously,
Yeah.
and the British government said no because homosexuality was illegal back then. I was like, what the
Well, that
fuck,
was back then.
dude? He
you
was
know.
he was a badass. He was like
Yeah.
fucking genius. Makes me mad.
It's kind of shitty.
Yeah, very shitty.
I actually get into an argument. There's a girl we had on the show, Erin Flanagan, and she's, super uber religious, holy roller Christian or whatever, and she's super against, homosexuality and everything, and she bitches about shit on the internet. So every now and again, I'll jump on there and be like, "Oh yeah, you're still hating on the gays, even though they created the computer you're using right now." And blah blah blah. She's just like, "That's blah, 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 blah," and she just fucking goes off, and it's funny. I like to troll her.
Yeah.
I actually had to unfollow her because I got sick of seeing all her shit. But I'm still
pissed you
friends
off?
with her, yeah. Well, it didn't really piss me off. It just got annoying. It was the same shit over and over and over again. And it's just like, God, lady, wake up, man.
Yeah. Yeah, get with it.
Jesus is not the answer for you.
Yeah. Sexuality is fluid. Fucking gender is fluid. Get over it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Always is.
Oh.
It ain't what it ain't.
What kind of time are we at? I can't even see the time over there.
A bitten apple?
A bitten apple? Is that a certain kind of apple? That's where the computer company Apple gets their logo. A bitten apple. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
What?
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
It's like a throwback to him.
Damn.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No
Huh.
respect for that. Huh?
Yeah.
Although
Still don't
that's
like
almost
Apple
like,
products.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I do like the iPhone.
I don't, man. I don't like it.
They shouldn't have gotten rid of the headphone jack. That was messed up.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
Yeah, because
Buy some
That was a
everybody
Bluetooth
followed
That,
after that.
that was a money grab, in my opinion.
Buy
Yeah.
some Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to. Even though that's the most common thing.
And they got a little adapter you can use.
Yeah, but you got to buy it.
No,
You
it
know?
comes with the phone.
Does it?
Yeah, it's like a little lightning adapter with a jack.
But still,
Man.
Fuck you, Justin. Fuck you. It's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Fuck Apple and their non-headphone
Do you need a
jack
rotary-
having fucking bullshit.
Would you like
'cause
a
everybody
rotary dial
followed.
on there too?
Samsung
I
followed
would.
that
I would
shit.
like a rotary dial, yeah.
Samsung was like, okay, and they got no
I
headphones.
mean, how hard is it to put a fucking headphone jack on?
Did
something?
Samsung do it too?
Yeah.
No.
They got
Samsung's
rid of it?
No, Samsung's got a headphone jack.
Oh,
Well,
they
no.
really
Okay, so they're newer phones.
do not.
Fuck Samsung too, man. Fuck
I
Samsung,
know,
Apple, the
because
whole
they thought
lot
that
of
it
them.
was
man.
okay. Like,
We need
nah,
a
I got no.
we need a fucking headphone jack, man. But I mean, honestly, aside from us sitting here tonight looking for fucking headphone auxiliary cables and shit to hook up headphones for Darren, how often do you see somebody, rocking like plugged in headphones?
I definitely don't do that.
I
Yeah.
do it.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's because you're awesome, Stevie.
I got Bluetooth headphones that connects to my computer, connects to my laptop,
Until-
connects to my phone.
Up until this last Christmas when I got my first pair of Bluetooth headphones, I too was plugging in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still got some
Yeah.
headphones that I plug it. Well, I can't now. But
Obviously.
I would always like roll over the cable and like fuck it up
Yeah.
because it'd be like hanging down, because if you get a short one, you're, trying to play your video game and like,
Yeah. You
And
gotta have
then
like
you
an
roll
8-foot
over it.
cord.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then next thing you know is you're rolling over it and you
Gets
gotta
sucked up in the wheel.
Yep,
Yeah. Fuck that.
that's what
Bluetooth all the
Apple
way.
gets for Apple and Samsung gets for assuming that we're all gonna just go straight to fucking Bluetooth. Takes
Yeah.
the ass out of them.
It is a dying technology, I'll say that.
Yeah.
What's that? Bluetooth?
No, the headphone
Wired
jack,
shit.
yeah.
The only
You
thing I
just
don't
gotta
like.
get with the program, It's kind of like these electric cars. One of these days, it's all gonna be electric. You gotta-
True. What were you saying, Justin?
If they would not make Bluetooth automatically connect, that would be great.
Really?
You can't turn that off. You got to go
You
in,
can
like,
forget it. But it
You
won't connect,
can.
Yeah.
but like I
Then you
want to
gotta go
keep
through the
it
process
paired.
again.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
keep it paired to my laptop, my computer, and my phone. And if I got two of them on, I don't want to have to go in and disconnect it from one.
Right.
You know, so
So
it's a
basically,
bunch
you
of
just
shit.
need Bluetooth headphones with multiple connections
it already does that.
at the same time.
Yeah,
So you
but it's always weird.
You gotta like go.
It doesn't
in
work
and-
right. It like fades out like it's trying to talk to everything.
at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it just,
they just need to perfect that.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that'd be better
Yeah,
than anything. Because if you're sitting there rocking headphones and you're on your computer, which your headphones are connected to, you obviously want to be able to hear that. And if you're, listening to something on your phone, or you get a phone call, you just bam instantly,
Well, we've got as far as virtual reality in 40 years, so I'm sure that we can hone in on that. And
yeah.
Oh yeah, all we got's
better.
time.
Where are you at, Beats?
Seriously, you can't even make a fucking larger auxiliary jack. Fuck.
We'll have to shave it out.
We are,
man.
we are hour and 21 minutes.
That's good. That's good.
We did.
We
Say
have
were
reached
gonna
the
roll a
time.
little extra, right?
We did. We went over. Is there something else you're wanting to talk about, Darren?
I kind of want to just throw in a little bit of my experience from LA too. Just kind of.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. Here,
Okay.
LA.
give me
Holy fuck.
he needs some.
Some upfront
like,
time,
yeah.
if you want. I don't care. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
be the guy on the table this time.
Actually, gotta run to the restroom.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what
okay.
I had to do. That's what my absence. I just was randomly getting out of the scene was for. Yeah.
That was sexy sounding.
Oh, thank you.
That was good. That had like.
I was about to
Oh,
say do
yeah.
it again because I didn't have my headphones on, but now I do.
That
But-
was good.
I saw this over there and I was like, all right, I thought I was gonna keep it over there, but it's over here now. But anyway,
Yes. So what was your big takeaway from Cali, man?
So-
First off, I know Dank's watching now. What was your impression of Dank when you met him?
well, he was all that I thought he was gonna be, just chill as fuck and just informative of everything. Like, of course, he didn't know truly exactly where to go in LA, but we're down here in fucking Kentucky. That's how it is, like for him, like in LA, like we're pretty much the same thing. Like in Cincinnati, you asked me to go drive around in Cincinnati. I'm not gonna be able to like go where you want me to go because I haven't really, Anyway,
I don't even know what the fuck you're saying right now, Terry.
like because
Oh, real quick, Dank, I did go to that Amoeba Music that you had recommended down the strip, and I got some cool shit. So thanks for that, man.
either way, yeah, he was is chill. I thought he was just at first, just gonna be, just.
Thought he was gonna serial kill us.
You threw that thought in my mind, but chill guy. And
I had no doubt. I didn't think for a second we were gonna get serial killed.
I thought he was, he
Even
was
before
a
we met
smoker,
him.
but he's not. Like like with the name Dank Crusader, like he doesn't smoke weed. Anyway,
When exactly did you hear that?
did we ask him? He said he
I
doesn't
did,
really,
yeah.
Like he doesn't really partake. He doesn't like he just doesn't want his job to find out. Like he just doesn't touch it. Like, but
I don't
anyway, yeah, that's just the beginning of
Are you gonna head out?
Yeah, I'm gonna head out.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming by, Stevie.
right. It's good to see you.
Bye, Stevie.
You take it easy now, Justin. You can come assume the spot, or actually, Darren, if you want to move over into Stevie's spot, Justin can have his spot, or musical chairs. If somebody wants to fucking sit here, somebody can sit here. I don't give a shit. I don't care if anybody wants, steal my seat or sit on my lap or whatever. Like we're good. Oh, look at Justin.
Oh, thank you.
He's on it, man.
Oh man. And yeah, this is after hours for sure because this is LA. Oh my god. They have restaurants that you can go over there and you can just freely smoke you just have a spot, a designated spot, like smoking area. You
A
could
smoking section. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you already uncover that?
I don't think we
question?
talked about that. No.
So
That was you talking about the last place we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you guys had a tree, like a specific tree that you used.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, right
yeah.
outside the hotel. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was perfect because everything around it was just all you saw was street, and you had this big long street with, you know how they have the highway guards for like the animals that have been passing through. They just put those guards up. It's kind of like
like
the
a
tiny
fence?
street. Yeah, like
Yeah.
they had the walls along the whole street. And it was just cool how they, like you said before, how they take care of their street. They take care of their stuff. Like
Oh yeah, the streets out there are totally different than the streets out here.
it's
Like I didn't see any like construction. There was no potholes. They weren't constantly fixing the streets.
Hell, it never
Yeah.
rains out there.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think a lot of it
doesn't
has to
snow, doesn't fucking get cold. It just
Yeah.
doesn't rain.
just
Yeah,
Doesn't do
you don't have
anything,
to
yeah.
worry with it.
Yeah.
You just throw out a road.
pretty much, yeah.
Good to go.
good to go.
Not to mention like the salts and the ice and shit here
Yeah.
in the winter times. Yeah, I think
Man.
salt's the biggest thing.
Yeah, because you could have a whole big old pothole and within a couple of days of just a salt pile just sitting there. Like, but another big takeaway was just the energy. Like out there, like you have a whole different realm of, like you could just feel that people didn't give a fuck.
The energy was totally different. A lot more laid back. A
Yeah.
lot more chill. It's probably because
Yeah.
everybody's high.
Yeah. Just enjoying the natural motion of LA. Like LA is just a whole different. It's got its own.
It's its own super organism.
Yeah.
Its own
essentially.
country,
Yeah.
Mhm.
pretty
And
much.
in
Really,
that
yeah.
country, they've all learned to love each other and just respect each other's lifestyle and
Except when they riot.
yeah.
There's not a lot of love there.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right.
That's true.
The shit just like grows. Maybe like everybody's holding it in.
yeah.
Probably,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're just holding it in. And then
Bottles
finally,
up. It's
yeah,
gotta be released.
they do it with either forest fires or rioting.
True. I didn't realize forest fires was actually like a common thing out there, but it really is. Like every year, there's like a big fucking forest fire.
Yeah.
You would think all the forests would be burned up by now, but
Supposedly, they think it's a natural thing. Like it should be forest fires every so often.
to kind of cleanse the land.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were talking about like cleansing burns and shit. I don't know. I just remember hearing something about that.
Yeah.
Either way, it's still a crazy event that's happening. Like you gotta think, like, how is that even? Like it's rolling, and the amount of work that the fire departments of all counties have tried to put in and put it out, and
It's
still
really
just-
an unstoppable force, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just burns out when it's done when it's done, essentially.
I did see the aftermath of Gatlinburg too in Tennessee.
You actually went down there and saw that?
Yeah. Well, not the actual fire, but the aftermath.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, like a whole fucking side of a mountain
Oh.
completely burned, all the trees.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So we get it too in this area. Not
Yeah.
not
Is
not
that
in our
just, like,
area because we live in a
immense heat?
fucking rainforest.
Yeah.
This place is like Seattle. It'd
It's
be like
so wet all
yeah.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah, is that just immense heat that just been like focused over a period of time that just sparks, and then
Yep.
you got hell on earth. Like
Yep.
That's
see-
literally what it looks like too. Like, have you
Wow.
seen the videos where people like drive
driving
through it?
Yeah,
It's fucking crazy. It's scary
You
looking.
can't see shit but fucking flames
Fire.
and black smoke flowing through everything.
And you don't know if it's like nighttime or daytime or what, because all you see is fucking fire.
Man,
You know, even if it was nighttime, it'd be lit up.
see,
You know.
I was kind of thinking about experiencing that when we were out there, but when you said they were like 2 hours away.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drive my rental car
that.
through a fucking forest fire.
Not to mention, yeah, like you're right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then blowing out your fucking 600 miles in that one trip, like
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't get insurance?
Well, I got the insurance, but
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
like the lowest tier insurance.
Oh yeah.
Plus
Didn't
it was like
didn't cover
600.
forest fires.
Probably not. No. Yeah.
the
So-
soot on the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dank did say, "Yup, the pine cones need fire to pop out the seeds to where they can grow and germinate properly."
Yeah. So that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they just need to let it burn more often, and
Maybe
they'd be
not.
smaller fires.
Maybe not more often, but like, you know, I mean, I don't know. How long does it take a tree to grow?
Well, if it doesn't
You know.
burn
Years. It's like
often,
400 years if you got a big tree.
Yeah, like the redwood forest and shit. Yeah.
but if it
That's what I
doesn't,
wanted to smell
if
too.
it burns often, there's less mass on the ground to burn, so it'll burn out quickly, right? I think that was the theory that I heard.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's less that can burn, it's not going to last as long. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
And
throwing
not
a
as
log on
hot.
it's like throwing a log on a fire.
Yeah.
You know,
But
eventually the log's going to burn out.
the redwood forest though, like they got a distinctive smell. Like I've heard that of course I don't know what it smells like, but I've heard that it has a distinctive smell. Like you walk, if you're within like a certain amount of, and Dank might know this, but like you can smell like it's a different type of pungent earthy smell that you don't smell anywhere else.
Like
you
a
just-
natural, clean smell.
Yeah, cedar wood, just
Yeah.
it's a pure. I don't know.
Have you ever thought about going up and farming, up in Northern California,
I've thought about farming, but I'm not in that general area. 'Cause
like marijuana?
of course, yes.
Yeah, my cousin used to do that.
They just busted an illegal grow op out there.
You talking about that like 1.2 billion?
Yeah,
like,
the link I sent you. Yeah.
Dude, my cousin sent pictures of like, cause he was working at one of the farms, and this was even before it was legal, but he was working up in Northern California, and he had a little cabin among the redwoods, and it was like it was made out of redwood. Oh man, it was beautiful.
Ooh.
And he said he was working out. They would take the pot plants and they would grow them horizontally so they didn't get tall.
Right.
So they would just lay them down and tie them.
yeah.
Yeah, and he did that for years, and
They would
He
kind of
fucking
they would
loved
get
it.
bushy.
Yep.
yeah,
You know.
Because they would be seeking light, and when they grow in the direction of light, and whenever they're laid in a certain direction, they're just
They're gonna grow
Yeah.
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Become bushy.
Man, and that's I've
crazy.
thought about it though, because when
you're
I was out
young,
there,
man. You're young. You ain't got
when I
any
was out there, though,
responsibilities.
I've seen the amount of kind of like going back to Vegas. Let me lower the seat because I feel like I'd be a little bit more comfortable. There we go. But Vegas, they have people that literally just drive to your hotel with a bag of cannabis and say, "Here."
Well, that's what they do
You know,
in L.A. too. They have weed delivery.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He asked me about farming, and yes, I've put a very good amount of consideration into it because there's not just so much money in it, but there's so much joy that you can spread.
Yeah,
You have all these people that could be taken care of, like their prescriptions. They might have like 19 pills they might have to take throughout the week, and it's all supplemented by a fucking nug of weed. It's just and that's what they see out there.
so
they see that it's
you're
just
selling me on this. Like, it sounds like a product you believe in.
I do. It's because at the end of the day, people may say it's a drug.
How can you not believe in it, man? You know.
I mean, exactly, because it's completely natural. It comes from the fucking planet. It's a plant that happens to have some compounds that when we break it down in our body, it goes to different compartments. Like if we need a pain reliever, if we just smoke a certain strain, that's what they've done. They've put science into it now. They've had strains that give you, they call it sativa, they call it indica, and it's two different modes of high. You got indica, which gives you like the
tired feeling.
tired, you want to go to sleep, and that may cure insomnia or other
Just a sleep aid in
inability.
general.
Yeah, and then you've got your sativa, that if you ever have any type of problems with depression or anything like that pushes you back against the day, you smoke a sativa and you feel happy. You're like, oh my God,
kind of almost energized.
Yeah,
you know,
like
brought back.
I can do things. I can clean my fucking room. Cool. And then your room's cleaned in an hour. It's like.
What impressed me the most going into the dispensaries out there, like you said, like the science behind it.
Yeah.
Like everything that they would show you, they'd tell you like it'll give you these effects, and like each one they were similar, but like they were all different. You know, they were like, well, this one will make you happy. This one will make you tired. This one will make you euphoric, or I forget what all the other different things was, but
They had
it was just really cool to know that there's not just one weed. There's
tons. Like you
tons,
have
yeah.
a prescription. Like if you have this condition,
you can smoke this. And it'll help it.
OG43 will give you the relief. There
Right.
you go. Here's OG43, and you smoke it. It's medicine. So
I wish I had the same experience you do.
Oh man.
I seriously, like, as soon as I smoke it, I get paranoid. I get anxiety.
That's because you're in a state where it's illegal.
No, that has nothing to do with it. Like, I got.
Plus, have you put, like, when you smoked whatever weed you were smoking, did you know exactly, like, if it was an indica or a sativa, or did
Yeah,
you
I
just,
tried sativa. I've tried indica. I did gummies. I've tried cookies. I tried flour. I've tried oil. Man, I've really gave it my all.
Oh shit.
And it just, I tried a little bit, just a little bit to try to get a little bit of it without the paranoia and anxiety.
Yeah.
It just does not work for me.
Oh
like,
my god.
that's
That's
a
kind of like
as soon as
That's
I
a
hit it.
shame, man.
yeah, it's kind of like the guy that I was talking about earlier. He just took one hit of that shit, and
That's all he needed.
Now-
was,
No, I did try. I took a Xanax once and smoked, and it was amazing. But
I bet it would be
but
amazing.
Xanax is a it's not a good one. It's
Yeah,
an
you could-
addictive
it's-
as
Yeah,
fuck.
you
Oh, yeah.
get addicted to it like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Like you, maybe even one like could draw you into it. And the fact
Yeah.
that you didn't, it says a lot about your will, because that's where addiction really comes from, is weak will. Like if you're not able to sustain the want to do it again, that just goes to show that you might have a lot of things to work on with your will. Like it's
Yeah.
the way it is with it.
Well, I wouldn't do Xanax regularly, so just because of that, man,
Yeah.
like that shit would be, yeah,
Just makes
it's
me
too
for-
good.
It makes me forget anything. Like
Oh, really?
I feel good at the time, but then like
You wake
after
up
I
the
wake
next
up,
day,
I don't
it's-
remember anything.
It's some of the best sleep I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
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 You wake up feeling very fucking refreshed, like you just like slept the whole like 2 days. And
But if
But-
they could make a Xanax weed mix, I might be able to.
You just need to find the right strain, I think.
You think?
balance, Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they have a strain for that.
I'm sure they do. Yeah.
Like when there used to be the saying, they have an app for that. They have a strain for that.
yeah.
Yeah, I've tried to find it.
Why don't we take a trip up to Michigan? Because up there it's full rec up there, and you can go in and we'll talk to them. The dudes are like, you would think like, okay, I'm gonna go to a dispensary, and the guy that's gonna sell me weed is just some potser. No, these dudes like they know their shit.
They're
Like
masters. Some of them are masters. Like the guy that we had at, are we able to say it online?
Sweet Flower.
Sweet Flower.
That
yeah.
dude that was like, so y'all want to see the weed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a fucking master.
He was good.
He was there for a minute. You could tell, like people. He probably saw people every day that knew that was the first time in a dispensary. You guys want
Like-
to just check out the weed?
Like I know what you guys want. Like, yeah.
Yeah, but and then when he brought you to it, like he didn't just stop at he made sure that you were aware of what you were about to buy.
What I
When you were
noticed
about to-
about him that really sold me on him was when he was like telling us about it. He would be like, "When I smoke this, this is how I feel."
Yes,
So he's experienced.
and
you
that's
know.
what like he gave us the suggestions. Like we gave him the suggestion. We gave him.
We told him what we
what
wanted,
Yep.
and then he was like, "Okay,
He's like,
well,
oh
this
yeah,
is what you need." then."
I've done it. I've done that strain before. So yeah, this
Yeah.
is a strain that you would want in that case.
Right.
And And it just blew us overboard too. Like you had a extra conversation with him the day we met.
Kevin Smith, yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
And I didn't though. Like he was just too busy. He was just with customers
Right.
before I got the
Oh,
opportunity.
I injected myself into that shit. I was like, I gotta talk to this guy again.
Man, yeah, I wanted to because of just how the good was, but it was just
That's the reason they call it the good.
and that just brings me to just closing out the the whole energy of the dispensary of just just knowing that with it being like an illegal substance in some states, it's because of that. It's illegal because of the jurisdiction, because of it being enforced through the government. It's stating yes, you may have to pay this amount if you have like this amount with you on your car, or, stuff like it still generates money for the government, and they see it on the economic standpoint, and it's still an economic. Industry is a whole different aspect when it comes to when they think of it like that, when it could be feeding the government side of things, but when it becomes legal, it's going to be feeding a whole different aspect.
There's so much money to be made off of it.
It is, and
like they could probably make more money off selling it than they can prosecuting people for it,
Oh,
or even
guaranteed.
ticketing people.
and I think that's
Guaranteed.
You know why? Because they're not going to catch everybody that's using it. So they can only profit off the ones that they ticket.
exactly
If they make it legal, they can profit off all of them.
Right.
exactly.
And but even in LA though, like there's still like an underground weed market because people don't want to pay the high tax for it.
And that's when they busted that at 1.8 or no 1.2 billion. It was that was
It was a lot, whatever it was.
you
Yeah.
gotta think of what do they do with that? Like, do they send it back into like the legal portion of it, or what do they do?
They probably burn it.
Oh, you mean the
But
weed?
that's a lot
Yeah.
of money that they could
It is a
send
lot of
back
money.
into.
But it would just kind of be hypocritical of them to be like, hey, look, we're going to take your weed and then we're going to sell it and make money, not
That-
you guys.
That's some gangster shit.
That would
Yeah,
be.
that is some gangster shit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be right. I'd rather them
That-
burn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But okay, now that we have awareness on it,
And on top of that, we're going to make all the money off this. Oh, and we're going to put you in jail
Yeah.
for like 10 years.
But
Yeah.
now that we
So,
have awareness on
have
it,
fun
though,
with
like,
that.
think about just the fact that that they did that in general. Like it's either illegal or legal.
Well,
And it's got to be.
Was it California police that busted them or was it federal?
I heard federal.
It's
They're
still
talking about like taking it off because they're not enforcing it. I heard something along those lines.
It was
That was
something.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, going up to I don't know if it was Supreme Court or the Senate or whatever it was. I just heard
Yeah,
it
because
briefly.
federally it's still illegal, ain't it? Like
Yeah, yeah.
It's illegal federally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but they're not
So-
enforcing it. So like they're like, why is it still in the books?
Yeah.
So if they made it legal federally, which it's really weird that D.C. it's legal.
Yeah, the capital of the United States, it's legal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really fucking weird.
It's dumb. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
like-
that too.
Like, why the hell? Why isn't every state fucking legal now?
Yeah. Like it doesn't
Get
make
over
any
it.
fucking sense.
Get over it. You know, it's like
That's what
fuck.
I think, and you got to think of other states that are like us, like commonwealths. Like we've got like our own set of rules that,
Mitch McConnell will never let that shit fucking be legal in Kentucky. He needs to just fucking leave.
Yeah, just get
he's
out of
already a
fucking
fucking
office.
multi-millionaire from being a politician. He needs to just fuck off with his millions.
Because he's got his
Yeah.
he's got his millions, he's got his influence, he's got his power now. It's like, what else is he?
Yeah.
Dude,
Like, what's his ultimate goal? Is he trying to find somebody to keep him alive forever? He needs to
Just
just
like
fuck
keep
off.
his consciousness.
Turtle-looking
just-
ass motherfucker.
I can't believe that he just some of the shit he says like trips me out. Like he's just like, yeah, we're not gonna. What was that with Trump? We're not gonna prosecute him.
Yeah.
Nah, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
He broke the law. Yeah, so what? Who cares?
Yeah. Lots of people break the law.
And then now he just like flip flops. He's like, yeah, fuck Trump.
Yeah. that's
Blatant, man. It trips me out.
that's all he is, man.
He's
a-
not even
a
playing the game
flip-flopper, man.
anymore.
Yeah.
He's like just fucking going at it.
He's like, who's gonna give me the most money to say this? Okay, you're gonna give me. Okay, I'm on your side then. Then the next week it's, oh, you're okay. Yeah, now I'm on your side.
Yeah.
You know.
And he's a Senate Majority Leader too, right?
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
I know.
No wonder our fucking bridge ain't fixed yet.
It kind of puts my work in perspective. Like, how many people can I tell to go fuck off and still have
still
a
have a
job?
job,
Yeah.
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
am I hiding behind, like, am I holding back for no reason? I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? Fire me? No, I'm not going to do that stupid shit.
Right.
I should just
Yeah,
take that
once-
approach.
Yeah, once you've put enough time and effort and sweat equity into the business, I mean, you really have leverage. Cause
Well, it's really dumb that they can't use banks. These marijuana dispensaries.
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that still a thing?
you would think that they would figure out some type of centralized way of doing things, like economically, like thinking about.
Well, if they can't use banks, how can you use a credit card?
It's a good question.
That's a damn good question.
Yeah.
What do they do?
Because
How do they
I think every
process
time
that?
we
'Cause
went into a dispensary, we used a
you could
card,
use
didn't
a
you?
card, yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, you have people that are teaching others how to, like,
Launder money.
yeah, and the super rich. You gotta think of the super rich. The super rich, they don't use a bank. They're
Maybe-
their own bank. Like
Maybe it's a credit union. Maybe they're using a
like-
state credit union.
it
or
could
some
be.
shit.
It definitely could be. It could be something that.
Did he say something
Yeah.
inappropriate?
He says Mitch's wife is a communist. Her family is a big player in the CCP. Can't stand the McConnells.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed.
Like you said, turtle looking.
That's
does
funny.
look
It
like
like
a
hid his. Did it hide his like comment?
It hid one that said
Communist?
Yeah, it hid the communist.
You should type
comment.
communist real fast. I want to see if it.
I mean, I can type it.
Yeah, that's
not
what I
a big
mean.
deal.
Will it?
We got like a sector of YouTube that's like paying attention to this right now.
Yeah, see, mine worked.
Yo,
Did I spell it wrong?
But it was probably your users, or the people that are listening.
Yeah.
Probably. That's
Okay.
funny.
That is weird.
Yeah. Did you just
Dang.
get? Are we gonna get censored?
I was
Like,
about to
is
say,
it gonna have like? Because we said communist.
Oh, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Fucking commies.
You can talk all you want about weed and drugs, but fucking
Yeah,
communists.
you mentioned communist, man.
Yeah.
Shit ain't
Hey.
cool.
Oh, that communism showed up, Dank. Communist? No. My wife is a communist, maybe.
I
So
don't
is
even know
that
what the fuck that said?
Globe, is that like Dutch for communist?
Could be.
Anyway, so we're at a long time, man.
Yeah, we need to fucking wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Oh, Darren, I know you probably got a lot to say.
Yeah, fuck it.
But
yeah.
Hey, we're gonna hang out. We can talk all we want, man.
Right.
You know,
it
doesn't matter.
Like, most of what I want to say to you guys right now is not appropriate for.
Smoke weed every day.
It's best that we just cut off.
Darren's like the one dude I know that can hit that every time. You know,
What's that?
it's like that. You know how in that song where it's like got that long pause and he's like, "Smoke weed every day." Darren
Yeah.
can hit it every time.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
yeah.
It's got
Every
the
time.
timing.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna be able. Smoke weed every day.
Oh, see, it hit another one. This one says it's Chinese for communist bandits.
Oh,
Ah.
man.
It doesn't.
Dank,
it doesn't-
you need to watch your language, buddy.
I know, man. Easy there, guy. But all right, we are going to wrap this up like a Christmas present, or roll it up like a joint in Darren's case, or a blunt.
Yep.
Have you?
Emergence.
Yeah.
Emergence.
Check it out, man.
DMT.
Check out just
DMT.
Google search John Conway's Game of Life. Sit and fuck around with it for 5-10 minutes. I did. Now I'm hooked on it. I can't stop fucking playing
That's
it.
why I'm not gonna do it, because I know that damn well.
It's
I'm gonna be-
addicting, dude.
I'm gonna end up
It's just you try to create something and you just watch it blossom, and it's like watching your child grow.
all those videos
Yeah.
that we had of the computer and
The clock. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up making like fucking Sophia out of that bitch.
You could.
You could, yeah. Theoretically, you could.
man.
Yeah.
So,
Man.
but yeah, we are going to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching. Like I said, if you are watching on Twitch, hop over to YouTube because I'm not checking comments. So if you want to have any type of reaction or interaction with us, definitely do it through YouTube. I don't even check the fucking Facebook videos and shit. I don't check nothing. YouTube is where it's at. That's what we focus on here. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Follow us on all the social media platforms at KYHBB Official. If you like us, tell a friend. If you hate us, tell 10 friends. That being said, I'm your host, Jerry Saylor.
And I'm usually over there on the couch, but Darren.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm Justin. Crazy eyes.
The crazy eyes. Bacon on bacon on bacon. Stay sober, Toby.